What's up, everybody? Rob Flax here. I play things with strings, I hit stuff, and I sing. And today I'm doing none of those. I wanted to show you a different side of me that you probably haven't seen if you're just following this channel for music. I wanted to share with you something that I've been doing for a long time, even longer than playing music. I have been playing chess. And I still play chess almost every day, if not daily. Online, I like to play live games against other people anywhere in the world. I play on a couple different sites. My favorite site is leechess.org, and here's a Blitz game that I played earlier today I wanted to share with you. This was against someone named Ulfnor. They are from Sweden, and they're a pretty strong player. They're rated 2010. That's the ELO rating. My ELO rating is 2085 right now, and I have a different rating for all these different time formats. Right now I lost a few points since I played this game. My bullet rating is lower. My rapid rating is a little lower. My correspondence chess, I just haven't played that many games correspondence chess. So that's where I'm coming from with that. But let's take a look at this game, and I hope you'll enjoy it. So first and foremost, I was playing the black pieces, and my opponent opens with pawn to e4. Really good standard move. That's what I play as white. I played this, d6, pawn to d6. If you're new to chess and you're wondering what I'm saying here, you can see on the screen there's these little letters running all along the files and all these numbers running along the ranks. So this square is named d6. That coordinate system notation is a really important way to know what I'm talking about when I'm playing chess. I can say those square names, and in my head I can picture where the board is, because I've been doing this for almost 30 years now, right? It's working memory. I know where all the squares are. If you tell me the name of a square, I can picture where it is and which pieces usually move there. It's like a taxi cab driver that knows the city very well. I know this map very well, so I spent a lot of time studying it. Anyway, e4, d6, white plays d4, I played knight to f6. We are in the Pirc Defense. It's spelled Pirc, P-I-R-C. I think it's pronounced Pirc. If you know for sure, leave a comment. Okay, knight c3, g6, bishop e2, bishop g7. All this is pretty standard. h4, and you can see on screen here that as that move happens, maybe you can't see on screen. Oh no, it's covered up by my face. This is called the Bayonet attack. It's a cool idea. This pawn push has got a lot more popularity in recent years, especially as big super mega chess engines like Leela Chess Zero, Alpha Zero have been playing this pawn forward. It's on the side of the board. Usually the traditional theory is you want to control the center of the board, and white has done this with all of these other moves so far, and I've been really laying back and staying very passive. This is called hypermodern logic. Richard Reddy was one of the great thinkers and practitioners of hypermodern logic, said, let white take the center and then attack it later. Hope that they overextend and then you'll get something to attack. Both strategies are good. It's worth understanding both concepts. Okay, I play h5 to prevent that pawn from advancing any further. Bishop to g5. Okay, time to play c5. This is my break in the middle, and I'm sort of threatening to transpose into a weird Sicilian dragon. White plays d5. There's a great book called Pirc Alert. It's spelled Pirc Alert. I assume that's the pronunciation that Grandmasters Lev Albert and Yasser Seirawan were going with, Pirc Alert. But this is what we might call Operation Bravo Pawn, is what happens here. It's in that book. Really great book on, that's how I learned to play this opening. Pawn to b5, and after I've castled. So now, if in this position, white recaptures with the bishop or with the knight, I'm going to exploit this missing thing, right? So imagine for a moment that this happens. I get this cool tactic. Seems like I'm throwing away a knight, but now, check. If the king moves, I take the bishop. If the knight moves back, then I trade here and then take the bishop. And as the smoke clears, you can see that I've got a knight and a bishop. White's got a knight and a bishop. Queen, rook, rook, queen, rook, rook. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pawns. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pawns. So the material is even, but white's structure is all bashed up. These pawns are doubled. This is an isolated pawn. This is going to be really hard to defend, and I can kind of pick these off one by one. This is also weak, but at the moment, because the king hasn't castled, this capture would be a terrible idea. I would pin the bishop. So that's No, you don't want to lose your bishop so early. I mean, even if you did something like this to defend it, I could trade off. And then, yeah, at this point, I'm just doing better. Anyway, none of that happened. That's all hypothetical, but that's why this pawn isn't really up for grabs. So instead, oh, I skipped a move. We were here. White played queen to d2, ignoring my free pawn, and now I push it forward. Now there's a problem, right? There's a big problem. This knight has to move, and this knight was defending this pawn. So if the knight moves somewhere, then I get a free pawn. White tries his Zwischenzug, which is in-between move, and trades here first. Okay, knight goes back. Now I'm just, going to continue playing as usual. This knight is doing a pretty good job of defending this square. This is potentially a target, but I don't have a way to attack it yet. My knight doesn't have an easy way to get to a square where it can attack this. The queen, same thing. The bishop, same thing. The pawn, same thing. So white's doing okay, but is slightly passive. And if you can see, Stockfish has evaluated the position here as 0.08. Right, just a little bit better. Right, I'm going to turn those arrows off though because they're distracting. Okay, white castles. I move my bishop out. Knight, queen. Okay, we're getting towards the reason why I wanted to show you this game. One of the things that happens sometimes in chess is the queen moving out too early. Now, so far, both of our queens have stayed nicely tucked in here. I've made a mistake with this move. I actually shouldn't have done that because after I do this, all of a sudden, this bishop has nowhere to go. This square is not safe. This square is not safe. This square, not safe. So white could really have caused some headache for me doing this. That would have been a very good choice, and then I would just be losing horribly. That's bad. Fortunately for me, white missed it and instead moved the pawn one square too far. And so that gave me a chance to get in with my own attack. Bishop check, king moves. I trade because I thought I'd better trade now. And then I brought my queen to that same square where my bishop was previously trapped, as if it's safe for my queen. He moves his queen back, and now I should learn from my mistakes, right? I should keep an escape hatch for this queen. Instead, I played knight d2. And this is a terrible move, and all of a sudden, I'm in trouble. I'm in deep doo-doo, guys, because white has this move. Okay? That's bad. I got to deal with this. Now my bishop has to move, right? I can't take this c-pawn. It's defended by the knight. So I have to retreat, and I retreat to here. And now all of a sudden, oh no, where can my queen go? I can't move here or here because the queen guards that. I can't move here. I can't move here. I can't move here. This is guarded by the rook. This is guarded by the queen. This is guarded. This is guarded. This is guarded. That would have been my escape square, but I cut off my own escape square. So I had to sacrifice material. By doing this move, I attack white's queen, and he could still take my queen, but then I take his queen. And as the smoke clears, it's not great, but I've sort of salvaged it. Instead, he just takes my bishop, and now my queen has this handy-dandy escape hatch. Okay, king moves away, and now I'm like, okay, cool. I have a little breathing room, but there's any moment now I could just be trapped again. So I kick away his knight. He attempts to trap my queen, but in doing so, now the f-pawn is no longer defended. He blocked the rook's view of it, so my queen gets out. And now I'm still looking at this like, every move now has to be an escape hatch for my queen. I could get out this way. In theory, the knight could move to any square now and reveal a discovered attack on my queen. And that's not what happened yet. First, this queen move, and that actually is much, much worse, right? So in this position, look at Stockfish's evaluation. White's up a pawn and a half here, right? Count the beans. I've only got one knight to white's two knights. In terms of pawns, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pawns, and white just has 1, 2, 3, 4. So I've got 3 pawns for a piece. That's a relatively even trade, but Stockfish and I both agree. I kind of bungled this one. And then white bungles it back. How nice of them. Okay, so now I just get a free knight. Now we're even on knights. I'm just up 3 pawns, and white's king is fairly exposed. All of a sudden, the table flips. And so it's worth remembering, theme number 2 here, is chess is won by the player who makes the second to last mistake. That's a quote from Savielli Tartakower. Okay, here we go. King moves. Bring my knight in, because now I'm up in material. I would like to trade pieces and not pawns. When you're up in material, trade pieces, not pawns. When you're down, trade pawns and not pieces. Boom, boom, we trade. My rook now has a beautiful open f-file. His rook moves away because he doesn't want to trade. I now control the f-file. Sweet. My queen runs away. Queen harasses me a little bit, but in this moment, ooh! And it was in this position that white resigned the game. Why did he resign? Well, there's two unstoppable threats here. The first is obviously the queen is in danger, right? But the other is this g2 pawn is mate in one, right? I'm threatening to move my queen to here, and that's checkmate. The king would not have anywhere to run and couldn't take the queen because it's guarded by the rook. So if the queen moves to safety, I get checkmate. And if the queen doesn't move to safety, if you defend the mating square, well, I just get a free queen. Probably the best defense here would be to sacrifice the queen for the rook, but in this position, I'm up a queen for a rook, and there's just no hope. There's really no hope. Maybe you can try and create some counterplay here along the f-file, but not really. I'm just going to harass this pawn, and then this pawn is still under attack. If you harass me some more, I can retreat to a different square. So you could kick my queen around a little bit, but you can't here because then that would give up this pawn. And if you were to harass the queen with this rook, then I'll pick up the a pawn. So in other words, in this position, both rooks are stuck babysitting. And it's just, there's no hope. I'm up on pawns, I'm up on rook for queen exchange, very much better. So in this position, white resigned the game and I win. Okay, a lot of stuff there. Zooming back out again for a moment. What do we take away from this? First, I'm a big nerd and I play a lot of chess. But also, there are some life lessons to be learned here, which is, leave yourself an escape route. That's the big takeaway number one here, is if you move into a situation and you can't get out of it again, you have to deal with the consequences if something bad goes down. So always have another way out. Theme number two, even if you think you're down and out, you may get a window of opportunity to jump back up on top. Just be persistent. So those are the biggest two takeaways here. There's lots of mini lessons in the moves that I made, and I probably made lots of inaccuracies that a better player than I could exploit. Better player than me. A better player than me could exploit very easily. But I wanted to share this game with you in case you're curious and want to learn more about it. One last cool thing here, and that is that you can actually do an animated GIF of the board. So it'll just play back a whole game that you played on here in real time. So this is the game happening in real time. It shrank the proportions of how much time happened, I think. So it's all happening sort of in real time. And that's really neat that I could actually watch a game back later. As a musician, I'm looking at this and going, what if I were to make a film score and some music that went along with this game? So if you have any suggestions for famous games or really beautiful games of chess that I should film scoreify and play some music along to, send me your suggestions, leave a comment down below. If you're like, what is this, Rob? We just want to hear music. Leave a comment as well. I'm curious to know if you like this video. It's definitely a new thing for me. I haven't done this before, but I've been playing chess for forever, and come on, look at this win. That's so pretty. And that's the end of the game. Thank you for watching. Please like this video if you enjoyed it. Hit the subscribe button if you'd like to see more videos, and click the bell for notifications if you want to know when the next video is uploaded. Thank you to my patrons on Patreon who support the art that I'm making. Thank you to my mega patrons who are really chipping in every month. You are paying for my ability to play chess on the internet and teach to strangers, so that's pretty cool. All right, thanks for watching. That's all for now.